Find Your Outdoors. I'm your host, Frank Willem, and I'm joined by the incomparable, clever, witty, and audacious Brittany Willem.
This week, we're with the team from the Gulf Coast Research Lab for some catch and release shark research. GCRL conducts monthly sampling in the Mississippi Sound and south of the Barrier Islands to assess shark populations in our area. This project is funded by CMAP, the Southeast Area Monitoring and Assessment Program. A large component of the surveying is to tag and release sharks, so if they're caught in the future, they can get movement and growth information from the animal.
Today we are out doing some long lining for the CMAP surveys. And our coastal longline survey, we go out and we set a mile of line with 100 hooks on it, and we're primarily targeting sharks, and we're looking at population size, and then for the individuals that we can collect on board, we'll take measurements that will be used for future stock assessments. All right, side. Yeah. Get your hook out of the way.
During our surveys, when a shark gets on the line, we will reel that shark in, bring it up to the boat, and if it's large enough, we will go ahead and put a rope around the torso or the body of the shark to help us lift it up. All of our handling techniques have been approved by the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee here at the University of Southern Mississippi. We do our best to ethically handle all of our animals to make sure that we release them in the best condition possible. So when a big shark like this tiger shark comes up, we'll rope it and get it up on deck, and then we'll promptly have somebody take control of the body of the shark. So you'll see that there's a person holding the head of the shark. They are straddling the body of the shark. They are not actually sitting on the shark. We're not putting any weight on them. It's just a means to maintain control of that fish while they are on board. We will then take a hose and we'll place it in the mouth of the shark so that shark can maintain ventilation, maintain respiration during the period it's on board, which will just ensure its survivability once it's released.
On the tail, a fork measurement, tip of the nose to the fork of the tail, and a stretch total. Tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, stretched out.
Hold on. Let go, let go.
All we want to do is look at the species that are out there, the length ranges that we're seeing, so we understand the population diversity in our area. The point is not to retain that fish.
215.0. You guys caught an over 2 meter tiger shark. Woo! What sex is it? Gary, you want to lift up?
I'm lifting up.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yeah. Matt or Pat, you good?
I'm good. Female.
It is a female. How do you know males between females? Bam! We're going to put an M tag in it, in her. Let me, Matt, you got your knife? Okay. Matt's gonna poke a pilot hole, and then the tag's gonna be placed underneath the skin into the dorsal musculature, okay?
All right, you see where
this tag has a unique ID number on it,
there,
and our phone number.
If that shark is ever recaptured by a commercial or recreational fisherman, they can document the unique tag number and give us a call, and we'll be able to determine how much that fish grew, where that fish moved to and from during that time period, and just get basic life history information from that fish.
Take a fin clip off of this, Becca. We're going to send this off for genetic analysis. We've had a request for fin samples.
So when handling a shark, one of the most important areas to be concerned about are the gills. The gills are extremely tender. It is their point of respiration. They have a lot of capillaries or blood vessels real close to the surface. And so with that delicacy, we need to handle them gently. While we have our fish on board, we try to ensure that when we hold the head of the fish or hold a shark in general, our hands don't cover those gills and damage that tissue. We try to maintain placement of our hands on top of the head when they're on deck, just slightly pushing down, not with force, just to keep the mouth closed over that hose. When we're holding them upright, we maintain our hands over the back of the head with our thumb over the mouth to maintain it closed. So we keep that gill area open and protected.
All right, now's the hard part. Now you have to control the head. That way, if there's something goes wrong, Pat knows everything. Which way you turn? Seems like. Okay.
So here in the Mississippi Sound, we typically encounter about 11 species of sharks really regularly. What we're finding is that the Mississippi Sound is a fantastic nursery area for sharks. We have some of the greatest diversity in all of the Gulf of Mexico right here in our coastal waters. A lot of the larger sharks will come here to drop their pups, and those small sharks will grow up here in our waters and eventually move back offshore. The majority of the fish that we see here in our waters are typically small. They're only about 3 to 4 feet in length. But we do see the larger ones coming in and using our area as well. Tiger sharks will oftentimes come in, and when they do, they're always juveniles. They are typically about 6 or 7 feet in length. Yes, that's still a juvenile for a tiger shark. Really impressive. Same for the hammerheads. We'll see great hammerheads frequently in our waters. Again, 6 or 7 feet, but still a juvenile. Those fish will eventually move offshore as they become mature. But those large juveniles we see frequently in our waters out near the islands.
All right, Pat, when you grab the fin, yeah, underneath like that. Don't actually grab it, but it's placed there on the body and push forward, okay? So she swam off all happy. It's a release condition 1. Ooh, he's big. That is a monster. Go ahead. Got it. Got it. Perfect. Okay, just hold it. We're leaving the water for a second. Just hold your rope. Okay, it's coming up right here. Watch your feet again, okay? You count it.
1, 2, 3.
I got my feet. Don't you worry about me.
So over the decade that we have been doing this work, we have come up with some very good safety measures to ensure the safety of the large sharks on deck as well as our personnel. We typically have one person holding the head and straddling the shark, definitely not sitting on the fish, but maintaining that lateral position there. We then have somebody on the tail who is constantly holding the tail to be prepared for thrashing. And then we also have another individual who will come up and do the tagging process as well as the measuring process. Somebody will hold a measuring tape at the snout of the fish and will pass it along the body, and somebody will be at the back of the fish to read off the measurements. So as you can see, we kind of compartmentalize all of the different activities to ensure that there is safety for everybody.
You're gonna go in that pilot hole, like this. Hit the back with the palm of your hand. There you go, pull it back. Pull this back a little bit. Read it anyways. Oh, that's a beast. Oh, that's a beast. Push, push hard. Okay, tight.
Good.
Yep.
So when we catch a fish, they can be in different states of health as well as different states of energetic capabilities. Sometimes when sharks come up, they are very active and thrashing, probably have not been on the line very long, so haven't had a chance to wear out, while other sharks will come up and will be rather motionless, still in good health, but just motionless in their activity. This is really typical with bull sharks. A lot of the larger sharks also act this way simply because their bodies are larger, and when they come out of water, it puts a lot of pressure on their bodies and changes their capability of movement. Although if they did try to move, they would definitely give you a good kick.
Roll it, the tail to the left. Matt, Gary's gonna roll to the left a little bit if you can do that. Are you good? Yep. Okay, roll to the left a little, Gary.
Good luck.
$12.9 for inner. You're going from the opening of the cloaca all the way to the end of the clasper, okay? Apply the holes there. You're gonna come in like this and pop it with your palm on the end. Perfect. Pull the tag back just a little bit. Lift the head again. All right, that gangin's free. Watch your face, guys. Matt's getting off to the right. Oh, God.
Okay, so we've had the chance to get up close and personal with the Gulf Coast Research Lab's shark tagging team. Being this close to these fish when catching them is always an exhilarating experience. But even more exciting is actually being in the water with them. Let's join Brittany now at the Florida Aquarium in Tampa to see what she's up to. I'll give you a hint. It involves teeth. Lots of teeth.
I've had the opportunity to dive in many exotic places, so when the chance arose to dive at the Florida Aquarium, I was pumped, albeit just a little nervous. The sharks we dove with in Cuba were big, but these sharks were really big. The first thing I can say is for a tank filled with tropical fish, the temperature of the water was anything but tropical. Once I was under the water inside the cage, I wasn't all that intimidated. Diving with big sharks is a breeze with large steel bars separating you from them. However, that safety was short-lived. As the dive master opened the door, all I could think about was just remember to breathe. The fish will probably keep their distance anyway, or so I thought. It's important in dives like these to pay close attention to the dive master, which I had no problem doing, but it became apparent after only a few minutes of instruction that what seems like a simple watch me was actually her way of saying, "Hey, look out behind you." These sharks are equipped with razor-sharp teeth, and we are equipped with a striped yellow stick. Seems like a fair fight. We made it through the first encounter, and I remember thinking, okay, great. He came and checked us out, so now he'll probably just avoid us. But instead, he went and got his friend. We moved to another location, and all I could think was, are the sharks circling us or the tank? As we made our ascent back to the surface, the dive master pointed downward with our trusty stick. Now, I'm sure the shark wasn't giving me a hearty farewell. Instead, he was saying, "Get out of my tank."
That was ridiculously cool.
Land management, sustainable habitats, food plots, natural resources, financing. Southern Ag Credit presents Land Talk, hosted by Alex Reiser on Find Your Outdoors TV.
Hi, welcome to today's segment of Land Talk, brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. I'm your host, Alex Reiser. Today I want to talk to you about finding the right land professional to hire when looking for a particular hunting tract. Always remember, no two tracts of land are ever the same, and just because someone holds a real estate license does not necessarily qualify them to help you find a recreational hunting tract. Just like attorneys, most real estate agents specialize in certain aspects of real estate. Some agents may specialize in residential, some may specialize in commercial properties, and some specialize in land. And that is where you want to start looking. There are excellent land real estate agents who are familiar with certain land markets and usually do an excellent job keeping their ear close to the ground about potential tracts available on the market, or even tracts that are not available on the open market but could be purchased. Finding the right realtor can assist you in taking the necessary steps to ensure you make an informed and educated decision. Usually the right land realtor can help you in the early beginning stages of land buying process, such as finding the desirable tracts to look at and get your boots on the ground, or answering important questions like, how many acres do you want, or what can you afford? Don't know where to start looking for a land realtor? Call us at Southern Ag Credit and we can steer you in the right direction and connect you with a realtor that fits your needs and keeps your best interests at heart. Here at Southern Ag Credit, we pride ourselves in relationships with land realtors across Mississippi and Louisiana. Tune in next week when we bring in land broker Beth McClellan of National Land Realty to discuss their expertise and marketing strategies to put everyday hardworking people into tracts of their dreams. See you next time.